Hi everybody, this is going to be my last video for today, but I wanted to just make a quick one and tell you about what happened after lunch. Okay, so after I had my lunch dinner, I was all ready for, okay, what is the defense going to do? I was all psyched. I was like, all right, let's do this. And then it didn't go as I thought at all. Okay, so, you know, to give you the visual, I'm sitting here. It says court and recess. Then about whenever, 3 o'clock or whenever, I don't know because I wouldn't actually hear it live. Okay, but you see the judge, and he's like, okay, we're back on the record for case number or whatever. He says the whole case, and I'm like, all right, all right. Then the defense goes, uh, he's like, what do you want to do? What's our next steps? He's like, and the defense lawyers they're both there, and they're like, can we confer for a second because we have options. Apparently, to the best of my knowledge, they have 3 witnesses they might have called. I say might have because they decided to rest. They decided to not put on a defense. Kouri Richins decided to not testify in her own defense. So that means that tomorrow, more than likely, or no. Okay, they put it on the record. The jury came back in the room. They said the state rests, the defense rests. I said, what's going on here? And then they had to say, the judge had to make sure that Kouri Richins didn't want to testify, gave her right or whatever, and she had to waive her right. And then so they said, okay, what's the next move? Then they said, well, we have to confer and make sure we're on the same page or whatever. So then they're not going to have the jury there for tomorrow and over the weekend. And then the next time we'll have court is Monday. So I will not have any coverage of anything on tomorrow because they won't be there. So in the next conference, which is they hammer out all the how they want it to come out to the jury, what they want the judge to say basically to the jury. And then at that point, after everything is read, which usually takes, depends on how fast the judge is, 45 minutes to maybe an hour. I've seen it go longer, but that was when the instructions were really long. But usually it's pretty short, and then they go in for deliberation. And then who knows how long that takes because it's basically the jury deciding what's going to happen. And it can happen in a couple hours. I've seen it happen in less than 2 hours. I've seen it happen in less than 4 hours. I've seen it happen in a day. I've seen it happen in 2 days. So your guess is as good as mine. But this was a twist I did not see coming in the least. I thought that, well, I just guessed it. I thought Kouri Richins had an ego so big that she thought she had to testify in her own defense and like kind of prove the naysayers wrong or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be something to see. And then it was a no go. I was like, what? So yeah, it was kind of like a screech. Nothing. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Day 13 and day 14 will not be happening until Monday. So on that one, have a good weekend. But I'll be back for the soap opera tomorrow. So bye everybody. Good night.